Recently, PCGS announced that they're doing a CAC only registry. So if you're a collector of a given series and you have most of your coins stickered by CAC, those go into a separate registry that is not mixed with non-CAC coins.
Right.
So I think that it's a very interesting thing that,
It's a bold move. I
yeah,
think.
bold move. Produced obviously a lot of opinions. So just John, your take on that?
My take is simple. I mean, I don't have I'm one of the few people without a deep feeling on registries, in the sense that I like collecting and I don't like competing. I don't like the idea so much of competing, but I know registries are a huge part of the market and have been very important. And I think that at PCGS, what Brett Charville, who's heading PCGS, he's forward thinking and all that, and I think you could have overthought this decision easily and not added CAC coins to the PCGS registry, because there's a couple ways to look at it. One is that now there's we talked about a bifurcated system and pricing for CAC coins, and now if we're saying why is that, because the CAC coins have a different grading standard than non-CAC coins, or something like that, then putting them in a registry is acknowledging that to some degree, is it not? Or do people not see it that way? And that's the
Right.
conversation that's happening online.
Well, I think right, exactly. And so I think two things. Number one, for those few collectors that remained, that were serious collectors that rejected CAC, I think this is like kind of another thing where they say, okay, I gotta own what this is, and
You think so? I don't know. I think those people will still not be interested in CAC coins, and I think that what this really,
yeah, it's
I think it
possible.
just helps. It just kind of helps the guy who's. Some people are CAC only. Some people have both, and some people could. Everybody could probably have both. But the people who are CAC only, it vindicates them. It's a flavor that they like, and they want everything to have a CAC sticker, and so now they have a home if it's PCGS and CAC. I think the door is open still for a registry that has NGC, PCGS, and throwing in the CAC factor, I think is good. I mean, everybody who collects should be given a home, and that's
Right.
the way we see it at CDN. Is let's be inclusionary, and since to me the brand of CAC has found a home, it is a legitimately collected item by very serious collectors, that there's no other reason to reject it on that purpose. So let's help them want to collect more. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to sway non-CAC guys. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, the vindication part is interesting because it certainly will vindicate some of the really extreme prices that are paid for
Something
top
will
pop
go up.
CAC
Yeah.
coins. And then I think possibly it might lead to a little bit of disappointment where if a guy is ranking high on a given registry set, but he's never submitted his coins to CAC because it doesn't matter for the registry.
Right.
And if he submits a handful of them and they, whether they perform good, bad, or otherwise, could influence, could
Right. They could
produce
upset them.
disappointment or excitement.
Right.
So that would be very interesting.
Right. So at some point, there's the ultimate registry will have to, I think, account for a premium value assigned to a CAC coin, as
Right.
opposed to
Excluding
CAC
everything
or
else.
non-CAC. So you say, I want to build a set of seeded dollars and it's CAC only. It's almost impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. And that's the other issue. So you're going to have a collection that could be 3/4 CAC and not. And so what I think will happen, if PCGS, I'm sure it's sort of experimental on their mind. And that's what I think is, smart about it from their standpoint. They take an experiment and they can always change their mind later if they say, we didn't like the way this played out. But in the meantime, they can look at it and they can say, whether they would eventually, say CAC and non-CAC in the same set, and there's a weighting difference to CAC.
Right.
And I don't even know, how John Albanese would feel about that. I mean, I know, and I can, that he and I have had conversations about registry in general. And one of the things that he feels the most strongly about, and I agree with him completely, by the way, is the way that AU58s are weighted in sort of everyman sets, or there's kinds of sets. So what happens is, the everyman set, if I know correctly, can go up to AU58.
Correct.
And
yeah.
then, so the other people will compete on all the way to MS70 or something in grade. So these everyman sets, AU58 coins are worth more than MS62 of the same coin, which has caused several things. One is that people will take out an uncirculated coin, put a little wear on it, regrade it to AU58, which is a travesty.
Right.
So
It totally distorts the market.
So we feel, he and I, in discussing it, both agreed on this matter, was like, we just, MS65, maybe you can cap it at AU58 value, but you should not punish a coin. You should not punish a collector who has like every man set, throws in an MS65, and they should just weight that at AU58. And then that would not hurt the value of these uncirculated coins. So I think that's something, again, another conversation. There's a million conversations to splinter here, but that's one that I think would be good for the market.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be the auction performance of top pop CAC coins this coming year will definitely be, it will be self-evident the impact of that.
Right.
So it will be quite interesting to follow.
It will be interesting to follow. We'll definitely report back on that in general. As we see, there's two kinds of coins. Some where CAC's prices are much different than non-CAC, and then somewhere almost the same.
Right.
A lot of classic commems are the same, and so I'd be curious to see if, like, you could easily build a set of classic commems in MS66, for example, or 65, 66, and a CAC only, and you could do that.
Yes.
And the premiums aren't significant at all, and I'll be curious to see if that spread changes.
Good point. Very good point.